Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast which we smash apart the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1-minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco, and Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Trucks.
Have you owned a truck?
Yeah, actually the very first new car that I ever purchased, which I still own today, is a Chevrolet S10.
Wow, did you buy it new?
Yes, I bought it new. It was the first new car I ever owned. Still have it. It's my daughter's now. It's amazing. Here's the thing I love about trucks. Whatever, even if you're a full-size person or compact truck size, whatever. You know what the best time to own a truck is?
When
it's been used and beat up and trashed. Why? Because it doesn't matter. I don't care what happens to it. If somebody asks me, Rob, I want to borrow your truck because I want to haul like boulders and some manure, I would say, here you go. Just take the truck, do whatever you want to do with it. I love it. Why am I talking about trucks? There's a really nice truck. Well, in my opinion, a really nice truck in this minute.
Yeah, here we are at minute 71 of a film known as The Incredible Hulk, which is directed by your friend and mine, Louis Leterrier.
Indeed.
We start out where we left off before, which is you still see Samuel Stern's bio is still on the screen, so we see a couple things of that. We talked all about that in minute 70, so you can go back and listen to that. So it very quickly is gone, though, within a couple frames. And then we see the truck.
What did they spend their money on?
That's right. You want to know what they spent their money on? Well, a bunch of their money went to this. This is the transaction we saw happening while Bruce was using the guy's AOL account or whatever it was, stealing some of his internets.
Yes.
So they have purchased a 1977 Ford F100 Custom.
Nice.
That's right. And Rob, did you know that in 1977 the Ford F-Series became the best-selling truck in the United States, and it has held that position ever since?
Well, that's even more amazing when you consider that the F-Series of trucks has been in production since 1948.
Man, when they build them Ford tough.
Wow.
This segment should have been brought to you by Ford because we did a free ad for them. But
yeah, absolutely.
They have no idea.
No, the F-Series,
exists.
that is the de facto. I know there's Ram people and there's Dodge people and whatever.
We don't want to take sides in this war.
No,
we'll take sides
not.
in Marvel versus DC.
Yeah,
but we're not going to take part in the truck.
And even though I talked about my S10, it's a truck. I mean, they're all trucks are all great. It's fine. Yeah, but that's really cool though. I mean, really, these have been around forever. And I think like the F-Series is now like on its 13th generation. Yeah. So that's a venerable vehicle in the history of Americana.
That's right.
Nice.
So we see that right behind it on the sign, we see that gas is apparently $2.92 a gallon. It was funny because they were talking about this in the commentary. They're like, that's how, you can see that this is clearly made in Canada because gas is $2.92 a gallon because it'll never get that high in America.
Oh, no.
And it was like, oh, man, I think I paid that much like a week ago.
Well, it is fluctuating, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it was, Canadian dollar. It's a whole different thing. Yeah. So as Bruce is looking over his brand new Ford F100 truck, Betty comes up with a camera, and so she pulls out the Panasonic Luminex DMC FX9.
Oh, it's the
Are you familiar with the Luminex?
Okay,
DMC
now
FX9?
you did a really good job because I thought it was somewhere between the DMC FX100 and the FX33.
Oh yeah, I looked through them all.
Wow.
I looked through all the models until I found it.
Okay, because
it came in multiple different colors, and depending on which country you came in, it had different.
And
colors.
they moved the logo. The Lumix, the word mark, was
right.
in the middle. This one is in the upper left of the front face of the camera. Wow,
that's right. Yeah,
well
that's
done.
Right, the DMC. And you know what? You can still get them for about $50.
Really?
Yeah, if you go on Amazon right now, people are still selling them. So it is a 6 megapixel, 3 times optical zoom with mega OIS.
What is mega OIS?
That's optical image stabilization.
Oh, jeez.
It has a crystal clear 2.5 large LCD monitor, a high-performance, low-energy consumption imaging processing LSI called the Venus Engine Plus.
Okay.
So here's my trivia for you, Rob, because I know that you're a photographer of sorts. How big was the memory card it came with?
Oh.
I would say it came packaged in, so this was a big thing, especially for Panasonic. They gave you the memory card. How big is that memory card?
Okay, I'm going to go low. I'm going to say 6.
Well, so I say this. Do you want to do any more information? Like this camera did not come out in 2007. It came out in 2005.
Oh, wow then. Okay, so this is a few years old model.
Yep.
Oh, 8 or 16 meg.
You are correct. It is a 16 meg card.
16 meg.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
16
boy.
megabytes. That's right.
I've owned a lot of digital cameras in my time. Let me tell
I'm
you.
sure you still have those memory cards are still floating around somewhere.
Well, there's a few, but I mean, okay, that's ridiculous.
Right?
Wow. Oh, okay. So wait. So we've beaten the camera to death. Now, why?
This is why people listen to this show. They want to know the minutia.
Okay, but now here's the other thing. So one, that's kind of cool that it is. Is it a camera that this character would own? Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
I was trying to find what the retail price was at the time, but nobody seems to know that information. Yeah. I found lots of reviews on it, though.
Oh, yeah.
This is because by the time that the 2005 rolled around, the internet was well and truly devoted to a lot of discussing and these kind of things. So there's all the reviews are still up. You go to CNET, their review is still up there. The Amazon review is still there.
Oh, yeah. No, and actually, I remember there were a couple client projects I can remember around this time that the Lumix cameras were known really well for image quality. So
yeah,
it's still this was still a growing
I
sector.
say this is when the sort of the screen on the back was sort of a new novel concept.
Well, especially that big too. No, that's awesome. So I mean that all checks out. Mm-hmm. Isn't this just an odd? Like you guys are on the run. You gotta get going.
Right? Let's stop for a selfie.
Right? That's what it's like.
Why are we documenting this? Like,
Benny, what are you doing?
I know. It's I guess he did let her take the camera from the list of banned objects. So.
Because there was no connectivity on this, right? Like, yeah. But he just kind of gives her like the smile, like, yeah, this is normal. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. Just us in the. Yeah, it's interesting because this is sort of a road trippy kind of thing. Like it's they got their car, they're gonna go for a ride.
What?
By the time they get on the road, the tone changes quite a bit.
The tone does change, but this is like a moment again trying to be normal.
Yeah.
In a very abnormal situation. So.
Right. So we get a quick helicopter shot. I couldn't tell if that was actually the truck there or if it was just like, here's some highways and trees, but they go through and then we cut to the interior of the truck. Now, I was thinking that this is probably poor man's process. And you're like, what's poor man's process? This is one of those terms that I think is so weird that has just stuck with me. The poor man's process is basically you get your actors, you put them in the car, you shoot at an angle where you can't see anything in the background, like you basically can see sky, and then you have teamsters on either side, and they just shake the car.
Sure.
And so, basically, you just shoot, and then it looks like the car is actually moving. Well, it turns out this wasn't poor man's process. This was process photography, because if you look carefully in the background, there actually is stuff going by, so that basically they took a big screen, they put it behind the truck, and then they would, play the footage of stuff going on there. If you watch old time movies, you see this a lot.
Sure.
Because so basically they're just playing actual footage of going by, but this car isn't actually moving while they're having this conversation.
Oh, okay.
And you can see you can tell because of the multiple angles they used to. They're not going to have a big mount going on there.
And her eyes are unsafely not on the road.
Yes, a lot.
As much as they should be, especially if they're driving at night. Which they're not.
So and obviously sometimes they put them on the back of a truck or so, and then they drag it around, so they're not actually driving. But this is, I think they were standing still, stock still. Bruce is back to brooding.
Yes, he is.
The window, looking in the rain, thinking about his life, just getting all deep.
Where did it all go wrong?
Yeah. But then what I like about what's about to happen in this conversation is they both sort of become scientists again.
Oh, yeah.
Betty, the questions she asks him are scientific questions. She wants to know, she's not like, how are you feeling? Why don't you talk to me? What's going on in your head? She's very much she's like, when it happens, what do you experience? What is it like inside the head of the Hulk? What is going, what is the process that your brain goes through in the process? So, so Bruce uses a really interesting analogy, and he says, remember those experiments we volunteered for at Harvard, the induced hallucinations? It's oh, okay. There's a couple things to unpack there. First of all, they went to Harvard together.
Right.
Oh, okay. I guess they were college sweeties. They volunteered for experiments in induced hallucinations. And I went, what the heck is that?
Science, but no.
I read Robert Rodriguez's book, and to get money for his first movie, he volunteered for tons of medical experiments. He took so many test drugs to make money, because you make a lot of good money because you have no idea what's going to happen to your body, and neither do they, and that's what you're there for.
Wait, what?
And it worked, yes. Oh, it's absolutely true. It's called Rebel Without a Crew. It's a fantastic book for any would-be filmmakers about someone who like wanted to dedicate his life to film so badly he actually put his physical health on the line.
He really did. Okay.
So I wanted to find out what this was about, and so I actually started looking it up. So this is actually a scientific phenomenon called the Ganzfeld effect. The Ganzfeld, I'm going to read straight where I got from one of the psychological websites that I discovered. The Ganzfeld effect describes how when you're exposed to an unstructured uniform stimulation field. Now, what does that mean? That means seeing blackness and hearing constant television static. So basically, they drowned out everything in your head. It's like the opposite of sensory deprivation. So they like a constant thing there. If they do it for so long, your brain responds by amplifying neural noise in an effort to find missing visual signals that can result in visual and oral hallucinations. So no drugs. They basically can do that, and they said, and he said, you can even do this at home with it. Here's the simple things you need. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that.
No one should
But
do
you
that.
really
No.
can. Like you can basically cause like you can trick your brain into compensating to go above the static or the white noise or whatever is in front of you, and it will start trying to fill in the gaps, and you'll see and hear all kinds of weird, crazy stuff.
Kyle, I think you can go on the internet and you can find many stories of certain people who have tried very different experiments to try and see what they could excise out of the certain victims. I'm sorry, guest. It depends on how you look at it.
Right. Yeah. So this was the cheap way to do it because like
This is the cheap way.
Right. Just some static and some paper and a pair of sunglasses and you can have a real good time.
Oh my God!
Right. So I mean, they probably volunteered for this and hopefully they got paid. Hopefully they at least got beer money for it.
No, they got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Come on.
It's
did
Harvard.
It for the science.
It's Harvard. Come on,
they didn't even get a sandwich. they got an orange slice. That was it.
Good game. Good game.
Yeah, unbelievable. What the heck?
When do the flying ponies go away?
Oh my God.
Walk it off, kid. Walk it off.
Seriously.
So then Bruce, continuing the analogy, says, it's like someone poured a liter of acid into my brain. First of all, nice job on liter, because a scientist would be using the metric system. So
right, yes,
yes,
exactly.
A liter of acid. And so he doesn't mean acid in terms of acid versus base. He means LSD. Lysergic acid diethamate. I think I've said that right, but you can tell I'm not a practitioner of that because I don't really know. So I decided to do a little homework on LSD, which is what he's talking about. So here's what I found, Rob.
Did you go beyond the Beatles?
I went beyond the Beatles because I found 50 different names for LSD.
Oh,
and I thought we could go through them all.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the first 6 are battery acid. Okay, makes sense. Acid. Orange sunshine.
Oh.
California sunshine.
Oh.
Amber window pane, which I think I went to school with an amber window pane. Delicid. DelYsid. Delcid.
Okay.
And yellow sunshine.
Well, now how's that different from California sunshine?
I don't know. It's a different kind of, because it's yellow versus the California one. Okay, so these are, okay, now we have the effect-based LSD nicknames. We have Zen, Superman, Golden Dragon, here's the Beatles reference, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Of course.
Doses. That's okay. Coffee, because, boy, that wouldn't be confusing at all. Hey, man, want some coffee? And pure love.
Oh, what?
Okay, now the next set. These are what's called the funny names.
Can I tell you, I just love the fact that these are categorized.
I know, right? They actually have them in different brackets. Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Bloomers.
That one, I was waiting for that one.
Daffy Duck. Backbreaker, which is like, should that be a wrestler?
Yeah.
Lala, which is a play on the letter L of LSD. Sure it is. Lucy, because Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds takes so long to say.
Sure.
Louis, because Lucy got too obvious, I guess.
Yeah. And
Grape Parfait. Love that one.
Oh.
Kaleidoscope. Ooh, this may be my favorite. Mind detergent. And sugar lumps. Which, once again, just seems like it would be confusing. Hey, man, want some sugar lumps in your coffee? Yeah, okay. Sounds great. 6 hours later, where am I and why am I naked?
Why am I walking on the ceiling?
Okay, so now we have, this is good. These are the classy LSD names. Ready?
Well, because you need those.
Of course.
Yeah.
Elvis,
Mm-hmm.
Acido, which apparently is Italian for acid.
Okay. Okay.
Alice, of course. That had to be in there somewhere because we're all mad here. Crystal T.
Oh.
Big D, because the last letter of LSD is D. Black acid, like that one. Chief. Black sunshine. There's sunshine again. Mellow yellow.
Nice.
L. Who's got time to say 3 letters? You could just say L. Yin yang and 25.
Wait, what?
Apparently.
What?
Yeah, I know. So they actually explain that one. The effects of LSD can be felt with as little as 25 micrograms.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, I'm pulling all these from an odd little website called findnicknames.com.
That's amazing.
And then, okay, so the last set is appearance-based LSD names, because people are like, when are you going to get back to talking about the Hulk? I'm having fun. Let's keep
this
going.
is good. No, this is good.
Okay, appearance-based LSD names. We got Purple Dot, Window Pane, Microdot, Pane, because window pane, Dots, Dotter.
Okay, now we're getting lazy.
I know, right? Drops. There's a big finish, don't worry. Contact lenses, once again.
Okay.
It's just confusing. Paper acid, blotter acid, pink blotters, gray shields, and our big finale, Black Star.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
So those are 50 different names for LSD. See, you learned something.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm glad you brought this up, because when I watched this minute, I thought, I'm thinking he's like, just like hydrochloric acid, right? Like, I was just like, no, you're right. He's talking about
the yin yang. He's talking about Crystal Tea. He's talking about Daffy Duck.
He's talking about boomers. Like, okay, boomers. Like, what? Wow. Okay, so that's his reference. He's making the point of,
Yeah, because even as he's explaining, she says, "Do you remember anything?" And he says, "Just fragments, images," which we've actually seen. Because remember the helicopter flashback when he was taking a bath,
right?
And he says, "It's too much noise. I can never derive anything out of it." So like he does get, like we talked about, like little glimpses, flashes, but he never really can make any sense out of it.
Right.
So this is still the debate that's going on even in the movie. She says, "But then it's still you inside it."
Oh.
And he says definitively, he says, "No, it's not." And she's like, "I don't know. In the cave, and that's where the minute ends.
See, now that's why we did the LSD
What
thing.
happened in the cave?
Well, yeah, 1, the cave, 2, that's why we did our little LSD thing, because that's it. That's the whole minute.
That's it.
Okay,
That's the minute.
now we've established in terms of the character, he does not want to humanize the Hulk in any way. He wants to create that clear delineation between the two, because he can't reconcile it. He can't even see how that's even possible. Doesn't like what it's done, all of it. But it's interesting to get from her, okay, you're going to love her, I'm going to go with this. Little tiny bit of the apple not falling far from the tree.
Oh.
I like how the Ross family's always like, well, hey, I mean, maybe you
It's just you.
Maybe
I mean,
you could control it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
would it be so bad?
no, I did. I found her reaction a little surprising. I was like, okay.
Well, because she called him Bruce when he was the Hulk.
Oh no, she said, okay, so the experience in the cave,
so she's had like that interaction with him, and
Right.
so she thinks that it's a part of Bruce, like that this is still Bruce,
Right.
even when he was being green and stuff too. But like, he doesn't seem to think so.
I don't know. I'm still thinking that.
So yeah, so that was the end of the minute. So to find out what the end of that sentence was, you're going to need to tune into minute 72. In the meantime, if you want to find out what else we're doing, we are on all of the internet things. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We're doing everything we can to help spread the good word about all the awesome cinematic content that's out there, including this film. So like, subscribe, do all the things you know you want to. Hope you had a smashing good time. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.